The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Here's Julie.
So welcome to episode 6 of the Joy with Julie podcast. We are so happy to be here. I am going to introduce you to Suzanne Balestino.
That's me.
That's her. We are going to talk about all things joy. I'm very excited. Today is the beginning of July, which means it's my birthday month, Suzanne.
Well, birthday month's big.
And it's huge because I'm jumping from one decade to the next.
It is huge.
It is huge. So I'm 49 today. But, next time I record, I will actually be the big 5-0.
Okay, well, that's exciting. Let's be excited about it, right?
I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled because my best friend Johnny died when he was 38. So every birthday that I have is a gift. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate being here. I know a lot of people, especially women, maybe they mind getting older. I don't. I love it. I cherish it. And I mean, come on, look at this face.
I know.
Doesn't look like a 50-year-old face.
No, you look like 35. Come on.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting carded anymore, but I'll take it. Yeah. So I actually use clean beauty products. Do you use clean beauty products?
Yeah, I try as much as possible. Absolutely. Yeah. Because whatever goes on your skin goes into your body.
For sure.
Every little thing counts.
So I have been using Beauty Counter for the last 3 years, and they just changed name to Counter, and I'm a rep for them. I'm excited. They have just relaunched. But I noticed that it kind of makes me annoyed when I go to people's houses and they don't have clean soap. It's almost like I want to bring my soap with me.
Join my world.
Right?
It's everything. Yeah.
So the more conscious you are about what you put on your body, in your body, right? Around your surroundings. Like even like Febreze. I was watching a reel with like the air fresheners, right? So my ex uses that kind of stuff, and I have been telling him for years that we're asthmatics, you don't use that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Like with us. Don't I see this reel the other day? And I'm like, see, I know what I was saying is true because I could feel it. Like any aerosols, when they're sprayed around me or my son, we cough. Like it bothers our lungs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what does that make you think of?
What does it make me think of?
Yeah, when I'm sharing with you that like it bothers me that like if I have to wash my hands at someone else's house with like non-clean soap or people using chemicals in your environment, like what does that make you think of? I know
it makes you think that you're actually caring about the people where you are. So if you go to somebody's house and they have a certain soap that you know is going to be disruptive to their body in some way, shape, or form, you're actually caring. So you want to say, hey, this might be better for you. And I love when people start to educate others. That makes me happy. That's
actually an adorable way to look at it. I was like, okay, because I don't feel feelings of anger or like negative feelings that much. So when I do, it sticks in my brain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I'm really like a person of joy and optimism and happiness. And that's something that I do think you have to work on daily. So that's why we're here. Like, that's why we're here for this podcast, because not everyone was raised the way I was raised. Not everyone was trained the way I was trained. And since I was a very, very, very little girl, I remember conversations with my mother. She is definitely the most optimistic person I ever knew growing up. And she trained us that way.
Sure.
Like that whole example of like the glass half full and appreciating what you have. She spelled that out for us. Like she explained that to me. And growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. Most of the people that know me now aren't aware of that. But my brother was 2 years older, my brother David, and there was me. And we grew up together, right? And then when he was 10 and I was 8, we had the little baby brother was born. So Luke is 8 years younger than me. And we kind of had different childhoods. Like Luke grew up with a lot of foster children in our home, but I was 14 when that happened. So I was already like myself, my personality, right?
Sure.
And so it's just interesting because my older brother says he remembers we were dirt poor, which that's not my childhood. That's not what I remember. However, when you think about the way you're wired and the way that you're trained and what you pick up from your environment. So all that my mother used to tell me about, optimism and living a life of joy and just being grateful. Gratitude is the exact equal sign to joy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a person that's grateful and happy with what you have, no matter what that looks like, if you consistently give yourself in your life gratitude, you'll be a happy person.
Yeah, they say that, right? That's what
Pretty
those
cool.
daily affirmations are all about. It's not just hype. It's look in the mirror, say, I'm beautiful. I'm a good person. I'm kind. I'm empathetic. Like, say all the things that you know you are, so you start believing it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to somebody's house and you see that soap, you're not being judgmental. You're actually caring about them and wishing they would change it.
And because I didn't always know. I didn't always know that, like, I'm putting soap on my body and it's not good for my hormones.
Right.
It's disrupting things.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, she sold the counter line and she taught me about it. Her name's also Julie. And she taught me about it. And I was like, hey, now, like, here I am feeding my body healthy things. But I wasn't realizing that my skin is the largest organ of your body. I never even thought of my skin as an organ.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
But every little thing adds up.
But if you think about it, your skin is porous and what you put on top of it goes in.
Yes.
So it is important to protect yourself.
Absolutely. And that's part of your detox also. And that's why I have my clients, depending on what they need, in a sauna, going out and walking, getting on the vibration plate. Like, let's get things moving. Let's get things detoxing. It's part of your health journey, really.
So speak to me about sauna, because I recently went into a place. I'm going to be honest, I was not well. It was in March before the gala. And what happens before a big event for We Do Care is I get so run down because I'm one person doing 18 roles.
Sure.
So then I get so run down. So I was like, crud. I was sitting on a couch knowing I had tasks to do and knowing that I should be in a hospital. That's how run down I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to the hospital. What's my plan B? So I went into this lounge that like gave you IV fluids and whatever.
Yes.
So I told him my symptoms. I called him up and I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Because he was so sweet. He had just donated money to my cause. So of course I was going to use his business.
Right.
So I was like, hey, tell me about what you do. This is what I'm feeling. This is what's going on. My adrenals are low. Like, I'm just like ready for the hospital, but I can't go to the hospital. I have a gala to pull off in like 2 days. So I went, I IV'd up, and he showed me around the place afterwards. And there was a sauna, and he was telling me a little bit about the benefits. But tell me, I don't remember what he said. I just know that it's supposed to be good for you.
Right, because sweating is good. That's your normal part of your body, right? It's like, so when people get into a sauna, they sweat. And now toxins and all the other things are being kind of excreted from your body. And that's what you want, because people have such a toxic overload these days. And it's just we can't control it all because it's in our environment, right? So smelling candles, Febreze, using the soaps, just being in Macy's and smelling the perfume. I mean, that will put people into a reaction right then and there, depending on what you have going on. But it's so important. Like when my daughter was sick, sauna just made her feel incredible.
It did?
Oh,
tell me about it a little bit more. Like, what do you mean? When Gia went in there, what happened?
Yeah. So she would sweat, and then she would come out and rinse off. And after that, she always felt better than she did if she didn't do the sauna.
That's amazing.
So that was just a practice we incorporated, one of the things.
How often do you think people should go into a sauna if they want to detox and feel better?
You can go in every day.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Till tolerated. So some people can only go in for a minute. Other people can stay in for 10, but just depends on what your body is tolerating at the moment.
How interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. It's part of detox and lifestyle protocols, right?
Love it.
It's part of that.
So let's talk about you. Let's talk about your business. Tell me about the name of your business and a little bit about it.
So it's Homegrown RN. And I've been a nurse for 15 years, and I've been in healthcare for 25 years. And, my daughter started showing signs of really intense gastrointestinal and neurological disorders when she was in 6th grade.
Neurological? What does you mean? Like,
so neuropathy, brain fog. She was actually paralyzed.
In 6th grade?
She was actually paralyzed at one point. And it was progressive. And when I look back and I do assessments on adults and even children now, I always go back to birth, because there's a lot of things that I didn't notice in her when she was little that are red flags to somebody who is going to be progressing into more extreme debilitating disorders later on. And I see that now when I do my assessments. I didn't see it then, but I see it now.
So when you do your assessments, are you able to ward off things then because of that experience with Gia?
Absolutely. Prevention is one of my
Love that.
biggest passions, because if I can help somebody not have to go through the things she went through and the family goes through, then I can bring more joy to their home.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's why I wanted you to be on today, because I'm so passionate about bringing happiness and joy to others, meaning allowing them to see the gift that they have in themselves to bring out their own joy, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful gift we have in life to live, like doing your purpose, doing what you're meant to do, sharing your talents, and allowing other people to be happy. Yeah. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to even hear more. A big piece of yours, if I'm correct, and I could not, maybe I'm not, but a big piece is about nutrition and the typical like food that you eat every day.
Yeah, that is a big part of it, right? Okay. It's not the only part, because we have to work on all the parts at once, because your body is a whole body. Right. So a full body assessment is what I would do. Deep dive, right? And see what's going on with you. And then specifically individualize your protocol. So it's not just a blanket protocol for everybody. It's specific to you, because what do you need? That's what matters, right? What do we prioritize? Right. And nutrition is going to be a priority, because the food that we have now is just riddled with, toxins and sugar and things that are not good for us, that are causing disruption. So much sugar, girl. Yeah. And like I said, it all adds up, right? Just the cream that you put on, the Doritos that you eat, what you breathe in when you go outside, like it all adds up, and you get a really big like toxic load in your body. And then what do you expect, right? Things are going to start breaking down. Right. So what you put in your body is extremely important. What you're surrounding your body is important. What you put on your body is important. And, just kind of getting on the positive path and a good plan for yourself is really important to kind of get you to the goals that you're looking for.
So one thing my brain just jumped to was alcohol. So if I were to go on your protocol, not having alcohol would be the easiest thing for me, because I'm not a drinker. Sure. I was raised in a family where the extended family, there was alcoholism there, right? Sure. My mom and dad didn't drink, so I grew up in a house where it wasn't a normal thing. We didn't see my mom and dad drink ever. And so not drinking would probably be the easiest part for me, because I drink so infrequently. Right. I feel like sometimes snacking, because I didn't used to eat processed food, but now that I have teenagers, I do. It's there. We don't buy much, but it's there, right? And I notice that when I eat crappy is when I'm not meal planning. Yeah, that's my downfall. Preparation. Definitely my downfall. It's like when I have no idea what's for dinner, but I haven't treated my body well during the day because I was working too much and just wasn't prepared maybe for my food intake. Of course. And so that I hadn't eaten much. And then it's like, whatever. If there's leftover little individual sized chips from the barbecue we had 3 weeks ago, screw it. I'm going to have one of those while I make dinner. But it's like dumb, because I know after I eat it, I don't feel good.
You don't feel good.
I really don't. Like, it might have satiated my hunger for like a quick moment, but I could have just waited and grabbed celery and peanut butter or like something else.
Well, right. And that's why, say with you, I would go over what are these obstacles? What are the things holding you back? What are the things you're grabbing? And how we're going to food prep and teach you how to make certain meals and keep things, available to you, so you're not kind of grabbing those things.
Can I tell you what I think I know is my obstacle?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's several, but what just came to me in my mind, and I'm super intuitive, so I'm going to go with that, is self-love. I have been loving on everyone else for decades, and I'm really trying in my 49th year to give myself grace and to give myself time to slow down and to love myself. And the more I try it, the more I realize, damn, I was a jerk to myself. Like, I don't know. Like, everyone else's needs were there.
Come first, of course.
Especially with the organization, especially with my children, like within our household. And it's not to say that like I'm an amazing housekeeper by any means. I'm not. But it's just like all the other things seemed priority and my needs were here. And I threw myself into my work because of some other things. And that gave me happiness and joy because I felt like I was doing meaningful work and I was seeing progress with people. Yeah. But like I forgot about me. Like it was easy for me to not go to the gym or easy for me to get out of the habit of kickboxing. I don't know what happened and why I got out of salads. I used to eat salads forever and ever and ever. Yeah. And like I don't know.
That just tells me
I
that
feel like I felt like I was a rabbit and I wanted to, I don't know. I just didn't do it. But I love when I eat vegetables.
yeah,
Like I'm a vegetable person. I love
yeah,
to eat.
Yeah,
like
your body's like sucking in all
whole
that
stuff.
nutrition. But you know, your work has a structure. You have a structure for your kids. You just need a structure for yourself.
I do. So I definitely know that. I feel like with my birthday 3 weeks away, I wanted to be further along in my health journey and like look better physically, to be honest, just for myself, not for anyone else, not to please people, but literally
Yeah.
just so I felt better in my clothing.
Sure, of
And
course.
this menopause is no joke.
No joke.
It's not an excuse, but it's like, I feel like it's like
It's another
being a
obstacle.
foreigner in a different person's body. Like this isn't my shrine. This
Yeah.
isn't my temple. I've been cute and attractive and had like a slim figure and been fit because I do yoga, I exercise. And it's like,
You're trying all the things.
don't love it. I don't love this. I don't love the belly fat.
Yeah. Well, you're trying all the things, and you're doing a good
I
job
need to be
at
better
it.
at consistency.
Consistency is
Definitely.
the key. So that's with anything, right? And having a plan in place is really the key, because then you have a structure for yourself. And I think you're ready to take on the challenge. So we're going to do a challenge, right?
I am so ready. I can be skeptical at times and I can have a trust issue.
Sure.
And I know you and I have gone back and forth, but today is the day I am ready to join your forces and I want to
That's
learn
amazing.
about this. I want to do it. I want to do it.
And I want to help you.
We'll see what happens in the next few months and just see
Of
the
course.
transformation.
We're going to see the transformation.
Because I thought I could do it on my own. I haven't done it,
And that's
girl.
okay. You don't
I
have to feel
haven't.
bad about that.
It
Everybody
is what it
needs
is, right?
support. Absolutely. So it doesn't matter, you know, if you haven't done it and you haven't this and you haven't
Yeah.
that. We're just going to go on a new path.
You know what I feel like? Part of my obstacle with not having already done more,
Mhm.
right, in the last 3 months. Because I
Mhm.
remember 3 months ago, I was like, girl, when you turn
Yeah.
50, like all these things, you're going to be divorced. You're going to be in the best shape of your life. Like all these things. You know, I haven't filed for divorce yet. That's one thing.
Yeah.
We're getting there. And the other thing is, I feel like with nutrition nowadays, I feel like I used to know what was going on and what to do.
Mhm.
But now there's at the tip of my fingers, I can like look up these things or I can see these reels on social media when I'm wasting time doing that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
like, I feel like there's all this contradictory info.
There's a lot.
Like, do I drink the ginger and turmeric tea? Or am I supposed to be eating watermelon and cucumber salad? Like, what is it I should do? And
That's the hard
consistently,
part.
what can I do that's like time and cost effective? So,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Like,
Let's simplify it down, because there is so much information out there and people don't know what to do with it all.
mhm.
And that's where I come in, because I
Mhm.
can help you, tell you what to do with all of this information, but specifically target it for what you need, because there's thousands of supplements, thousands of good foods, thousands of lifestyle practices. But how do we
So
put it
many.
in place for you so you're on the most positive path to get the best success? And that's really the key.
Would you say your daughter Gia is an empath? Is a sensitive kid?
Yes, to a point, but she's very atypical personality. When she gets something in her mind, boom, right? And it's not that she doesn't think of others, because she is, she wants to be a physician's assistant, so she wants to help people.
Yeah, of course.
But she's very smart, very driven, very
driven. I get that.
very motivated for their solutions. So yeah, I do think that she is.
The reason I ask is because I have my own theory.
Mm.
My theory from the childhood I had and who I am now and who my health issues growing up.
Mm.
So I had 2 brothers, right? My oldest brother was breastfed for 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's it. I got no breast milk. Didn't work for the first kid, so she didn't even try it with me.
Yeah.
So I had that preconceived notion. I did breastfeed both my kids. So I grew up in a house where I had 2 amazing parents. They both had trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that my asthma, my allergies, and my health problems had to do with my sensitivity and my high empathness, that I picked up other people's energy. So my parents didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about that. And I'm only still learning about energy. But I feel that I can even tell now when my adrenals are low,
Mhm.
when I'm allowing other people's energy to come.
Yes.
Or they, so I'm
Yes.
learning how to not cut the cords, but just dissolve the cords so that other people's energies aren't like visibly attached to me in
Yes.
my energetic field. So I wonder if you know and have heard of that and what that resonates with you and your kids or your family.
Not so much my kids and my family, but the people that I help who have past trauma, right? Who have, not the best childhood, wasn't breastfed, wasn't brought up on all organic, did have obstacles or a really sensitive kid. And trauma is stored in your nervous system. Okay. And your nervous system has a vibration, right? So other people's stuff, whether it be negative or positive, is going to affect how you feel and how your nervous system is coping or non-coping with that. So I do a lot of brain retraining, nervous system regulation work.
That's amazing.
Because that is all encompassing, right?
That's
to the
amazing.
whole body. And you need to be working on all the things at once, and just depending on what's going on. There's
a message right here. There's a message I definitely want to share with the viewers. So what you just said, I feel like the message is there's layers of trauma that we've been through in the last 5 years, just the last 5 years, starting with 2020 and COVID.
Yeah.
So
everybody, right?
Towards the end of my teaching career, when I was teaching in Boston, right? So I taught for 22 years, commuted in and out of Boston, loved working for the city of Boston and the kids. It was such a huge part of my life. However, the last couple of years were hard, right? So when I think of the trauma of working in that school in Mattapian and the things that I went through, I end up getting mono.
Yeah.
So that proves that it was not the right environment for me.
Well, right.
It just wasn't. And so my son also ended up getting mono.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was in a battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I literally was in a battlefield. Not to anyone's fault per se.
Right.
But administration had turned over several times. People were doing the best they could. It was not a good situation. It was a 3 years old to 8th grade, which I don't ever believe you should have that mix of ages together, right?
Yeah,
inner city. And so it was a lot, and my body took a toll.
Well, your nervous system is directly attached to your immune system.
So that's what I was going to say to you is the message I feel like is when people have trauma, they have to acknowledge it. Then they have to find the healing protocol. They have to find the things that will help that. Because you don't just your cortisol doesn't just go down automatically and you're back to you. You really do have to chip away at that stuff.
That's right. And that's what we want to work on also, because it's a big part of it. Absolutely.
I love that.
Because your body needs to feel safe to heal. And if it's in that constant fight or flight nervous system loop, it's still trying to keep you alive, right? Alive in many different ways, mentally, physically. And if that nervous system is not addressed, then you can't heal. You just can't. Your body won't let you. It's working on other things.
Wow. That makes me feel for first responders right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of my husband. He's been a first responder for, I think, 18, 19 years.
Sure.
And he was on a 911 truck in Brockton, which is a huge city.
Yeah.
So during COVID, I was teaching online and he was helping people, in the field and doing 911 calls, bringing people to the hospital. And people don't talk about the medical field and the trauma that the medical field went through in 2020, 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
That was a lot of years. It wasn't just a year,
No, it's a lot of years. I was swabbing for COVID for a whole year straight, in the suit, just taking care of people like that. And it's hard to watch.
So if someone were to start your protocol, right? What does that look like? There's an initial consult. There's an initial meeting with you. And then what else?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about what that looks like. Because I really want this for people. I want people to be better. I want them to feel better. I want them to have their mental health in check so that they can be good to their kids, their grandkids, their coworkers, their family. They can be their best self.
Absolutely. And I want to stop all the chaos. I want to stop the years of suffering. I want to stop all of the doctor's appointments and the medications and the things that they're looking outside of themselves to help fix these things and Band-Aid these problems and try to get diagnoses.
But they don't get to the root cause.
That's the thing.
I'm all about root causes.
That's what I do.
Just get to that root, baby. Get to that root and then work through it.
There are a few root causes that cause hundreds of symptoms. So stop chasing each symptom and let's broaden our base and look outside and say what is actually going on and what are the root causes and how we're going to fix that. So my assessment is extremely detailed.
Okay.
And I write the protocol specific to the person. So like I said, it will be a specific nutritional plan. It will be lifestyle practice, detox practices, mind work, all of the things we're working on. And this can be adapted to any age. So I work with children, teens, adults.
Love it.
I work with people before they even get pregnant to get their body in the
That's
nutrient
so
dense state
important.
that
I
they
love
need
that.
because there's lots of miscarriages and they're spending hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars on IVF
Right.
when they could just look inside the four walls of their home and what can we do in there.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about my family and I'm jumping on board. I have 2 teenage sons.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about how it will be a shift for all of us, not just for mama.
It's a big shift. Like I said, it's not easy and it takes time, but I can simplify it down for you. So you're all doing the same things mostly.
Love it. How long do you think that takes for a family of 3 to adjust?
To adjust, probably a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to really adjust to what you're doing and really understand it all and get a structure in place. And then
it becomes a lifestyle.
And then it's a lifestyle.
Does the beginning protocol, I guess, I'm thinking of nutrition and food, does it start with something and then does it vary and change?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because depending on where you're starting is what stage I will start you at. So there's many different stages because we have to work on stabilizing symptoms. Then we work on the foundation, which is really getting your body to start absorbing the nutrients that you're taking in, getting onto the lifestyle practices and having that work well for you. And then depending on symptoms, and this is where the support is so important, over the weeks, over the months, over the whatever, is that we're going to tweak and adapt things. So if you start at a very low stage diet, depending on how sick you are or your symptoms, that will change. And I will be able to open you up to more options in foods once I see the symptoms starting to decrease and you're more stable. Then I will know when I can bring certain things in.
That's awesome. I love that. I feel like overall health-wise, I'm really good. Mental health-wise, I'm doing amazing.
Great.
I really do feel that, and that makes me happy. It's like the menopause symptoms. I use an estradiol patch, which is estrogen. Once a week, I have to switch it. And then I take progesterone at night. And I'll tell you, when that patch wears off by day 6.5,
you can feel it.
I then remember, oh, shoot, I am in menopause. There are these symptoms. Ew, I don't like them. You know what I mean? Because like the hormones are starting, whatever is in there that's helping me is wearing off and I can't wait to then change the patch, right? But like, I want to be my optimum health so my body functions well. Like, I do not like it when my adrenals are low. It slows me down. It like makes me go have to take a nap, Oh,
there's so many symptoms that come from adrenal fatigue, adrenal crisis. I mean,
is brain fog one of them?
Brain fog is one of the most common symptoms you're going to find. And it's one of the first things that will go away. So there are you could have a list of 50 symptoms, and there are going to be certain things that will start to dissipate first. Other things do take longer.
Okay.
But I can give you all of that information once I know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, of course. I can't believe we're already at 3 minutes.
What?
So, really quick, I'm going to pull a card. I have this new deck of cards called the Daily Crystal. So I want to see what message we need to hear. Ooh, okay. Let's see. So let's see what message our readers need to hear. Here we go. All right. I'm going to let you pick one.
Okay, perfect.
So which crystal? Yeah, which crystal is that?
Ooh, sunstone.
Sunstone. Oh, that's gorgeous.
These are my favorite colors. Amber is my favorite color. So
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Well,
I picked that for a reason.
Right? Sunstone. Okay. So sunstone means take pleasure in the things you do. Don't just stop and smell the roses. Make yourself a bouquet. If you find yourself moving through your day on autopilot, force yourself to stop and take a moment to appreciate the beauty that's in your life. If you find you're always focused on what's next, allow yourself to appreciate the moment at hand. Be present. You can even put a reminder in your phone if you need it. You only get one life. Allow yourself to enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do something that gives you a significant boost of energy and happiness, something that fills your cup and feeds your soul. I love this. Take delight in everything you do because it's those little pleasures that make life truly worth living. Your affirmation is, I have plenty of time. Today, savor a small moment that you usually take for granted, such as a hot cup of coffee or tea or exchanging smiles with a stranger. And the one that I pulled before we started was this one. It is the Labradorite. And the Labradorite, if I said that correctly, says see the magic. There's magic all around you. If you lift your gaze from your everyday path, you'll find it at every corner. It is in the beauty of a rainbow, the mystery of the stars, and a hug from a child, even the innocence of a child's laugh. Remember, we have so much to be grateful for. Joy with Julie is reminding you to be optimistic, positive, and happy. We will see you for the next episode. Thank you, Suzanne.
Yeah,
you're the
welcome.
best.
Yeah.
Thank you.